What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be covering the farming strategy I've run for the last 3 days live on stream to first buy my headhunter, farm the apothecaries, and also buy the rest in order to complete a Mageblood, and then wrap things up with well over 100 divines to just have some wiggle room to fund a second build. This is T16 Strongbox farming, and it is easy and accessible for most League Start builds. To start things off, I think it's important that I quickly disclose the advantages that my Spark build has in particular with this farming strategy to help you understand if your build is suited for T16 Strongbox farming as well. So what are the advantages of my Spark build? First off, Spark has a caster mastery where it will open all the strong boxes automatically without having to interact with them simply by casting our Spark. This makes the maps quite a bit safer and quite a bit faster because we're constantly covering the entire ground with our damage ability, which means as soon as the strong box is open, everything is going to instantly pop. You don't even really see it. This also means we can open them safely from a distance, and if there's not too much AoE mods on the map, you can even avoid the explosions and ice nova blasts that are associated with opening these strong boxes. Another advantage is that we destroy corpses via shattering, which mitigates the strongbox detonate dead modifier. This is done through a cold damage when we hit critical strikes. Finally, especially with the use of a headhunter, Spark can largely avoid all the blue altar downsides to the degree where you're simply reading the upsides, scanning for a chance to drop divine orbs, and always picking the better of the two options. If your build is better suited at doing red altars, you would simply amend the tree towards Searing Exarch instead of Eater of Worlds. This is a simple and straightforward farming strategy. We use 4 ambush scarabs. The first 2 are the basic ambush scarab, which grants 5 additional strong boxes each. This will run you approximately 2 chaos per scarab. The next one is Ambush Scarab of Hidden Compartments, which gives a 15% chance for strong boxes in area to be openable again, which stacks with our passive tree to give us roughly 30% chance that we can keep opening the strong box. This only costs 1 chaos. The final scarab is Ambush Scarab of Discernment, which gives us strong boxes are more likely to be rarer varieties such as the map, the currency, and the divination card strong boxes, as well as the unique strong boxes. And this runs approximately 2 to 3 chaos each. For the map device, we're going to spend 7 chaos per map to give us 5 additional strong boxes via the ambush craft. For the map, you can run whatever map you want. I like Crimson Temple because it's a really good layout for Spark. It drops apothecaries. I dropped 2 apothecaries in the 3 days we were farming this. I feel like with this league in particular, when you put a map in, it gives you a bunch of bonus modifiers for the monsters, and you'll often get stuff like this pack has a huge amount of increased quantity, and we're churning through these maps super fast. We're doing maps at a rapid speed. So that gives us a lot of packs that have huge buffs to quantity and rarity, which I feel like is going to help drop these apothecaries. I may have just been lucky. You don't have to drop apothecaries to make lots of money, but you might as well pick a map that has a good divination card in it. What I do is I just chisel alch of all the maps. I run whatever fits based off of my regex. You'll have to make a regex for your particular build. Filter out the bad modifiers. You could use delirium orbs to add more quant to the maps. Just slap one on before you vol it. It's not something I've been doing, but it would be fine. As for the Allflames, there are not really any mandatory ones, but I would share my advice, which is if you have chance to drop something like Chaos Orbs, GCPs, just something nice, I would throw on the rats. It's pretty budget friendly Allflame that's going to give you good returns. If you have a similar mod, but it's the strongest monster in the pack is going to drop, the Chaos Orb or whatever, I would suggest using Anarchy Allflames, which gives us Rogue Exile. That gives you a pretty big loot explosion for those. And if these are a little bit expensive, I think they run roughly 10 chaos, you could go for an Abyss Allflame, which is a more budget variation that will accomplish the same goal. I don't worry too much about anything else. We just open the maps, you know. The main thing is do them fast. As for the passive tree, this is going to be linked in the video description, a PoE planner link. But the whole gist of it is we take all the strong boxes nodes, obviously. I like to have a chance for haunted monsters to get more Allflames. These stuff down here are pretty good as well. For the block nodes, we are dropping a lot of Scarabs. Well, we're not dropping crazy amounts of Scarabs. This isn't primarily a Scarab farming strat, but we do spec into a few nodes. We do drop quite a few Scarabs. This helps by blocking out some of the inferior Scarabs, because the stuff you block is not going to drop as Scarabs, as well as not going to show up as a lead mechanic. I go for Shrines. Shrines help you go through the maps much faster. That's why we're doing Shrines. And we are Eater of Worlds for Spark, but if you're a different build, possibly the Searing Exarch would be better for you. And, you know, you just pick which one is better for your build. All right, so where's all the money coming from? How are we making our profits farming T16 strong boxes? I think Wealthy Exile is of limited use when analyzing this sort of thing, although we'll keep this open anyways while I go through the story. So I had quit the league fairly early because I was just really upset with the way GG was handling the balancing. And then they came and nerfed the Rogue Exile strat, which I thought was pretty exploitative and ruining the economy. So I'm like, you know what, we'll give this league another shot. So I'll talk about 4 days. The first day was just really briefly off stream. I came back and we started this strategy. I started testing it out. I did not have a headhunter. Played a few hours just chilling on Discord with friends, and I farmed enough right here. This is the first day in order to just buy a headhunter. And at this point, I boot up my stream and we farm 3 straight days of this strategy. While we're farming, I am buying apothecaries and I'm just putting them in like a hidden tab. So this isn't really showcasing the growth. All right, so the first day of real farming, we drop a natural apothecary. I end up buying an apothecary for roughly 45 divines from the profits we've been making. And I buy an awakened spell echo for 50 divines. And none of that is being shown in the profit jump from 116 to 160 because we're wearing the spell echo and all these apothecaries are being stashed away so they're not feeding into this calculation. So that means there is roughly 50 divines of extra profit, you know, in air quotes, because realistically, I don't think anybody is going to sell half of the stuff that this is calculating. So basically, we made, you know, the 45 divine Mageblood card, 50 divine for the jewel or for the spell echo gem, and then we just got lucky and dropped an apothecary. That was the profit for day 1. This was about a 10-hour stream. Moving on to day 2, I do not drop any apothecaries, which is unlucky. But from the profits we've been making, I buy 3 Mageblood cards. So we have the Mageblood at the end of day 2. And those cards started at 40 divines. I think the last one I bought was 36 divine. So we made over 100 divines on day 2. And as you can see, we climb from 160 in like the fake profit all the way up to 210. Because again, the Mageblood is stashed away, but I accidentally at the end of day 10 flash it in my currency tab so that you can see it spikes all the way up to 365. So I guess if you include the Mageblood and then you also include the Awakened Spell Echo, it would actually be 415 from a start of 116 divines for the 2 days. And then I hide the Mageblood and I never show it again. So at the end of day 3, we go from 210 fake profit all the way up to 350. So that we're making 150 divines, but realistically, I have 80 divines here. I have 28 divines in chaos, so let's call that 110. And I spent 20 divines on a Forbidden Flame and Flesh. So that's like 130 divines of actual profit for day 3. And I think the reason day 3 is more profit than day 2 and day 1 is because I started to bulk sell some of the stuff I should have been selling on day 1 and day 2, but I wasn't doing that. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you should be looking out for that you should be bulk selling, and that is really going to be the driver of the currency you're making. So let's get into that. All right, so first off, you do drop natural divine orbs. You're going to get them in stacks of 2 because we duplicate everything from the currency strong boxes. Another thing to look out for are the T17 maps. Now, these are also often duplicated from the cartography strong boxes. You want to be selling these in bulk. When you sell these in bulk, they sell for close to 1 divine each. Now, something that's not shown in this profit at all is the Allflames. The Allflame meta is always going to switch. It used to be, a week ago, the Anarchy Allflames were 2 divine in bulk. That has long since been changed. Now, meat sacks are the hot commodity. I think, I haven't sold them all yet. We still have a bunch of meat sacks. When you sell these in bulk, you can sell them for like 0.8 divines. So this is a big source of profit. When you're looking to sell your Allflames, I would go to the bulk item exchange on the PoE website, and then you can just search with a high minimum to see what they sell for in bulk. For example, these Scarab ones can go up to half a div each if you have a lot of them. So like the meat sacks, the Scarabs. I pick up a lot of them. You know, I've sold Sulfite in bulk, 10 chaos each. When you have 40 of them, that adds up. I would look to be selling your Allflames. You are getting a ton of currency. You're getting so much currency. So you're going to have to be on top of this. And the way you price it is, for example, I would sell them in 1 divine increments. So you can use Awakened PoE trade. Right now, actually, chromatics are 820 for 1 divine. So you would just do the fraction, exact price, 1 divided by 820. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get spammed right now. So you can sell chromatic orbs, vol orbs, orbs of making, regret orbs, alterations. The list goes on. You should be selling this as you get it. A lot of it turns into our divines. One thing that you could sell that I have refused to sell are Scarabs. I apparently have 70 divines and fragments. I have not sold a single Scarab, as you can see. I have one worth 5 divines, actually. And then this 6 is 3 divines. I had no Scarabs at all before I started this strat. Like, I had quit the league fairly early, and I was not farming Scarabs before. So all of this Scarab profit is just based off the last 3 days. I'm lazy. I'm not going to sell these. Maybe I'll use them in the future. But you see, this is the sort of stuff where you look for profit. Yeah, there's not too much I'm selling. That's basically it. It's just bulk currency, T17 maps, Allflames. I am looting all of these coffins because I want to craft with them later. I sold a few of them. It didn't really amount to much, but that is something you could be getting some profit out of. But that's basically it. The point of this strategy is you want to build to go super fast, churn through these maps really fast. All right, that wraps up this video. If you want to see this strat live in action, I'm probably going to be streaming it for a few more days live at twitch.tv/animeprincess. And if the Spark build you see showcased in the B-roll looks interesting to you, it is a pretty cheap build. It's sub 50 div at the complete end of the league start progression, so it's pretty accessible, and it is probably the best build to do this. So you can find that on my channel, and if you league start it, join Global 8686, that's where all the Spark players are at, and join the Discord, because that's where even more Spark players are at. Hope you enjoyed the guide, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.